Welcome to this Pilates session. Today we are working our bum and our core. So what you're going to need is a couple of weights. I'm using two 10-pound weights. You could probably actually just use like one 10-pound weight since we're going to be kind of working each side. And then, or you can go lighter or heavier. And then an option to use a resistance loop band. I'm using one that's pretty tough. Because we're not going to be doing too many reps of things since we're doing these kind of heavier weights than usual for our Pilates exercises. And I think that's it. So we can get started. We'll do a little warm up here. Actually, I'm going to put the band on right away. Up over my knees. And we'll start with a little warm up. So your knees are wide enough that you feel the resistance band tighten a little bit. You can have your feet together if you want, or you can have them apart. I'm kind of making a triangle with my feet together here. Sitting up nice and tall, shoulders are relaxed. And we're gonna sit back toward our bum towards our heels, and then coming up, pressing our hips forward. So hinging at the hips, leaning back, and then opening our hips, pressing forwards. This is just kind of a little bit of mobility work more than anything since we're holding kind of light weights here. So just working on our hip hinging, squeezing your butt as you come up, start to turn on those butt muscles that we'll be working a lot today. And of course, thinking about our breathing in through the nose, out through pursed lips. So this is a different move than our sissy squat move. It's kind of similar position. With our sissy squat move, we keep our hips open. This time we are creasing at the hips as we sit back and coming up. We're going to do 3 more here. 2 and 1. And then we're going to find kind of a mid-range and just do a little pulsing up and down here. So you're just thinking of kind of lifting your butt an inch and back down an inch, up and down. Not too many. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming up, just place your weights off to the side. I'm going to do a little core warm up here. So I'm going to sandwich the band under my left knee and the mat just so that it stays in place. Hands are beneath our shoulders. Let's transfer the weight to our right hand. Left arm's going to reach out, and then if you want the option to reach right leg out, just hold here for a second. Square your hips and your shoulders. Draw that belly button in. Have a nice long neck. And you can hold here if you want, or if you want to add on, we'll do some bird dogs. So reaching opposite elbow to knee. Using our breath. Again, nice long neck if you're looking down. For 5, 4, you might start to feel it in that stabilizing leg. 2, last 1, hold here. We're just going to do little pulses lifting. So squeeze that right bum cheek as you lift, reach nice and long. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, coming down. Take a second here to now switch the band under your right knee. Again, get set up, nice position. Transfer the weight now to your left hand. Right arm's going to reach out nice and long, then your left leg. Hold here, get nice and square. Again, make sure that you're not locking your elbow. And then now we start elbow to knee. Oops, my band is already kind of doing its own thing. Connecting to that breathing. drawing in your belly button. For 5, 4, get that reach and lift. 2, last 1. This is where we hold. We do our little pulses. So we're raising our legs, squeezing that bum, reaching long on the diagonal, reaching high for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, let's come on to our backs for a little bit of bridging. So you can just keep the band on here. Option to grab one or both weights. Carefully come down to the mat. I kind of prop my weights on the side here and then roll back just to make it a little bit easier. So we'll start with our just typical neutral bridge. My feet are about hip distance apart, about a hand's distance from my bum. And I have a little bit of tension in my band here, keeping my knees apart. And I'm actually gonna, you know what, I'll start with both. Let's do both. It's kind of awkward here on the hips, but I'm gonna do both weights. So, we're not doing too many reps of things today. Let's prepare with an inhale. As you exhale, draw that tummy in, lifting hips up to the ceiling. Pause at the top here. Check in on your shoulders, just relax them to neutral. Think of reaching your knees over your toes. And then inhaling to lower hips down, exhaling up. Squeeze your bum at the top. Inhaling down, exhaling up. So this is working our bum and our hamstrings. It's also working our core and those butt muscles that go up to our low back. That's why bridging is so good. It does so many muscles. And you're kind of lying down, which is nice. Staring straight up at the ceiling. Always thinking of reaching your knees far away from your shoulders. We're all about lengthening in Pilates, remember? We've got 4 more here for 4, 3, 2. Last one, we're going to stay at the top and we're going to do our little pulses. Down an inch, up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down and up, down and up. For 5, 4, use your core to help. 3, 2, and 1. Carefully coming down. I'm just going to remove one weight for this next part. Actually, I'll put it on the other side so you can see a little bit better. Sometimes the 2 weights just kind of like heavy on the core there, especially if you don't have like padding. You can also, if you want, if you are finding this really uncomfortable, you can get like a towel and roll it up and place it underneath. I do that a lot of the time. Okay, so now I'm going to widen my feet about the width of my mat in a slight turnout position. I'm trying to use my band a little bit more now and get into my side glutes. So with this one weight now, lifting up, and then we're at the top, try to open your knees up even more. Bring them in just a little bit so they're pointed in the same direction as your toes, and then coming down. Up, open, close a little bit, coming down. Think of still trying to get that height through your hips. But being mindful that your ribs are staying down. So we're not arching our back, we're staying in a neutral position. I know in yoga, they like to kind of arch the back as much as they can. And we can do that too sometimes. But today, really focusing on our glutes and our core and building strength more than a little bit than like mobility and flexibility. We've got 3, 2, last 1, I'm gonna just adjust myself. I've kind of scooted away. This happens all the time with bridging. I see it in clients all the time. So I'm gonna readjust. You need to do that too. And then we're gonna come up and we're gonna do our flare outs. So keeping this neutral spine, trying to keep our hips relatively even, so one side's not higher than the other. That core is engaged. Whew, I am feeling this in my butt for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Carefully coming down. Nice. Okay, we're gonna do a little bit of core work just to break up our leg exercises and give our butt a little bit of a break. I'm actually gonna take the band off, I think. Okay, so let's do a little stretch just to give our glutes a little bit of love. So we'll do our single leg stretch to start. So this is our legs are in tabletop. We have our neutral spine. I'm gonna nod my chin to my chest, curl up here. So as always, my bra band is staying on the mat, but my tops of my shoulders are lifted. So now my upper body's not gonna move. It's gonna stay in this position. I'm gonna hug one knee in, stretch out the other. Also tug this knee in for a stretch and switch. Just being mindful not to grab right at the kneecap, because that can be bad news. Really thinking of stretching here and using that core. So just a little core warm up. So we're just gonna do 4 more. 3, because I feel like I've been putting this in my videos a lot lately. 2, and 1. Okay, similar move, but it's gonna be our bicycle or our crisscross, whichever you wanna call it. Option hands either beside your head, or you can have them wrapped around the base of your head and put the weight of your head in your hands. Some people like to do that, helps your neck a little bit. Legs come up to tabletop, keeping that neutral spine. So we're gonna twist one shoulder towards opposite knee as the other leg reaches out, and switch, twist, and switch. Taking your time to do this with control and precision, using our breathing. I'm kind of breathing opposite of normal. Normal, I like to exhale as I come up, inhale back down, but you know, I always say, as long as you're breathing. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, you got it. Reach and twist. Last 2, make them good. And last 1, and you can just hug your knees in or straighten your legs, whatever's feeling good today. Okay, let's do my favorite, our leg lowers. I'm just thinking about if I'm going to hold the weights or not. Yeah, I will. Okay, so if you have heavy-ish weights, you can put them kind of up by your head here, like this, and hold on to them. If you have like a bench or something, you could also do that on the bench to hold on. Otherwise, oh my god, it's like on my hair. Oops. You can have arms down by your side, that is tougher, or arms out to a T. I'll give you some modifications. So this is the move we're going to be doing. I'll just show you. I'm holding on to my weights here, lowering legs down, and then lifting up. So if this is too much for you, you can just do mini ones in your range of motion, keeping that neutral spine. So you are finding where you can go, keeping that little space behind your low back and your ribs staying down. If that's too much, you can work on doing one leg lower than the other. I did these yesterday at the gym, so I am already feeling them. I think I'm going to do one leg today. So I like to inhale as I lower, exhale as I come up. I know some people, I'm not going to do the weights today. Some people like to have their hands beneath their like sacrum area, kind of their tailbone area, and that helps them. As I said, I am already feeling this because I did these yesterday. Normally I do not do the same body part 2 days in a row because of this reason, because I find it so hard. We're gonna do 2 more, so that's 1 more on each leg if you're doing individual legs like me, or just 2 more straight ones. Whew. And then hug it in. Okay. Coming up, I'm gonna put the band on my legs. I'm gonna do a little bit of side lying. So pick whichever side you want. Have your weight, 1 weight handy. Okay, so coming down to my side, do just a little warm up first with just the band to start. So I'm bending my bottom leg here into kind of a tabletop position. Scoot your torso around so that you find that neutral spine and you're really lengthened, like feel long through your spine. And we're gonna start just with our bend and stretch. So I'm reaching my top leg out long, bending it back in to tabletop. Reach and bend. So I am keeping my ankle, knee, and hip all at about the same height. And I am reaching through my heel today because I wanna work my butt. And reaching through the heel is a good way to turn on that butt muscle, better than pointing your toes. We've got 4 more like this. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now I'm gonna put my heels together and they're kind of in line with my bum. My knees are out forwards. This is where the weight's gonna come in. So we're gonna do clams with the weight and a band on. Take your options. You can do no weight or no band, or join me here. So we're opening and closing our knees. Really think of your butt doing the work. Your bottom leg is working as well to keep that band on. We've just got 5 more here for 5. Then we're changing it up. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to bring that bottom leg back kind of to tabletop position. Stretch my top leg out nice and long. I have my 10-pound weight. You know, they have it like lengthways like this, like I do, where you can have it kind of sideways. I personally like the lengthways. Reaching through that heel nice and long, and we're lifting and lowering. Lifting and lowering. Not too many of these again. I'm using a heavier band and 10 pounds. If you had a seam along the side of your pants, that's kind of what you're thinking of, lifting up to the ceiling. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Okay, and then we are going to change over to the other side. Same thing on the other leg. So bring your weight with you. So we started with no weight and just doing our bend and stretch, but first get set up, find that neutral spine, that natural curve, really lengthen your top body. You want to kind of think of lifting through your bottom waist here. And then when you're ready, lifting leg, so your knee and ankle are about hip height, as I said, reach through your heel and then bend it back in. So this is our stretch and bend, stretch and bend. And I know you always want to, I do this all the time too, like I want to look at my leg, but just be mindful you're not always like bending your neck to be looking at it. This is where if you have like a mirror in front of you, it's really good to see your form. Always check in that that foot hasn't started to kind of dip down or lift up. We've just got 3 more here. 2. And last one. So now for our clam, I bring my feet together and kind of in line with my bum, my knees together in front. Grab your weight, and we do our clam on this side. So with clam, you always want to think too that your hips are staying squared to the front and stacked on top of each other. It's really easy to start kind of leaning back and pointing your belly button up towards the ceiling. You want to think belly button forward. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, you got it, last 2, and then our leg lifts. And then we'll go back to abs, give our legs a little break for a second. Okay, so I'm going to bring my bottom leg forward a little bit, again to tabletop position, put that weight back on my thigh here, and lifting and lowering. Really reach through that heel, lengthen your leg. You got it. Our core is turned on also to help keep us stable, and again from rolling all over the place. We've got 6 here. Nice and controlled. Reaching. Last 3. And 2. You got it. Last 1. Whew. Carefully placing that weight down. We are going to come up and do, it's kind of like a plank move. Actually, do I need my band? No, I'm going to take my band off. I'm trying to remember what my next plan was. Okay, so this is a plank. I'm going to do it on my knees just to make sure I have good form. And like I said, I did abs yesterday, which was silly of me to do this 2 days in a row. Okay, so we're going to start with our weight. I'll start on this side so I can show you guys better. So I'm placing my weight beside my left hand, and you only need 1 weight for this. I'm coming into a plank. I'm doing on my knees. So what I'm going to do is keep my left hand down. I'm going to reach through with my right hand to that weight on the opposite side, pull it through. Now I'm going to place it beside my right hand. Now I'm going to grab with my left, reach through, place it to the side. So the goal is to try to keep as stable as you can in your plank while you do this move. So I am trying to not be wildly swinging my hips around and my shoulders around. And that is why I am on my knees today, because I think if I did this on my feet today, I would be very unstable, which, you know, can always lead to injury or strain. If you do want to practice, you can practice this on your feet and then kind of just imagine grabbing the weight, placing it down, imagine grabbing the weight and placing it down on the other side. Oops, I just did that opposite. Oh well, there we go. Neck is long. And again, just being mindful not to lock out your elbows. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then just sit back, give your wrists and shoulders and everything a little break, because we're going to come back onto our hands and knees right now. Okay, I'm starting with I'm going to do my right leg first, because that is the one I worked first on the other side. Keep giving my left leg a little break. So I'm going to place the weight behind my knee. Give this one a little bit out of the way. Band out of the way. You can wear your band if you want for this as well. I'm just not going to right now. I'm going to grab it in a second though, so I will keep it nearby. Okay, so you can be on your hands, you can be on your forearms as well if your wrists maybe aren't so great. Knees hip distance apart. You're holding that weight in your hands, and then we're gonna do our donkey kicks up towards the ceiling. So, reaching through my heel like I am kicking the ceiling. My hips and shoulders are square to the mat. And you can have your other toes tucked or flat, whichever you prefer. We've got 4 more like this. 3. Check in with your spine. 2. Is it neutral? Last 1. And you know I love pulses, so we're going to stay up and we're just going to do little kicks to the ceiling. Kick, 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 kick. You got it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Little wrist break for a second. I sounded like I took my son to swimming lessons yesterday and we was going like kick, 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 trying to get them to kick their legs. That's why I sounded like that right now. I was like, kick the ceiling, kick, 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 kick. Okay, I'm going to come down onto my forearms just because my wrists are sore. Still have that mommy wrist a little bit. Weight still in my, or behind my knee. And now we're doing our fire hydrants. So opening to one side. And with the weight, you might not have, come up, the usual range of motion. Or you might have greater range of motion. If you normally do bands, you might have a little bit more that you can do. I find up on my hands, I get a little bit better range of motion. No pulses here. We're just going to do 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm going to place that weight down a little bit out of the way. I'm putting my band on now. So band comes up over the knees again, getting back into this position. I am going to give our wrists a little break here. So now, think about this. We're going to sandwich the band under our left knee. So our right leg is still working. And we're going to do our egg beaters for some abs. So reaching your right leg out nice and long, and then we're going to tap it down. Try to tap your toe kind of in line with your knee here. Lifting up, sweeping back. Over, tap, and sweep. Tap and sweep. This is crazy obliques. Those side waists really working here. Your stabilizing leg, I feel it in my butt just from kind of tensing. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, we're going to stay in this position and we're going to do some butt kicks. So we are reaching and then kicking our heel towards our bum. Really try to kick. And we are keeping our knee and hip up nice and high in line. Our core is turned on. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower down. We're just going to do the same thing on the other side. Since we already have the band on, we're just going to keep it on. I'm just going to turn so that I don't kick my reformer. Move my weights out of the way. So we are starting with the egg beater on this side. So my right forearm is now coming down. Oh, I have to put my band under my right knee just to keep it in place. Right forearm's down, reach, left leg out long, left toes tap about in line with right knee, and sweeping back. Tap and sweep. Whew. Even though we are kind of crunching that side waist, you want to think nice and long through the spine. I know it's really easy to kind of crunch all together, compress everything. For 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Oh my gosh, I didn't even tap down there. Oh my bad. Okay, we have our butt kicks. Reaching up, reach through that heel, kick your heel to your butt. and reach, kick and reach, kick and reach. Try to keep that knee lifted. I know it's easy to start getting down as we get tired. And keep your neck long. I know it's also easy to just look up like this. For 5, 4, 3, 2, last 1. You can take the band off. And then we have the dumbbell behind our left knee now. And we're done with the band. So weight behind our left knee, either hands or forearms. We're starting with those donkey kicks. Hands hip or shoulder width apart. And we're kicking towards the ceiling and lowering with control. Chest is square, hips are square to the mat. This leg might be feeling it more, might be way more tired from already doing the stabilizing work earlier. We have 4 more, then we have our little pulse kicks. 2 and 1, holding up on this one, and we just do our little pulse kicks. Kick, kick. My son did not get kick, kick, kick. He's too little to understand that. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then we have our fire hydrants. Yeah, we're all just saying kick, 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 and he's just kind of like lying there, you know, in the water, not really doing it. Okay, so fire hydrants, last move. Then we go back, a little bit of core, and then finish up. Again, keeping shoulders and hips pretty square. Okay, my wrists. Something too I've talked about. Swimming lessons, holding the kid for like half an hour, even though the water kind of helps. It's a lot on your hands and wrists and arm muscles. For 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. We're going to come back onto our backs for a little bit of abs, and then we'll do our stretching down there as well. Okay. So what we're going to do is that legs come up to your best vertical, and we're going to touch opposite baby toe with pinky. So prepare with an inhale. As you exhale, opposite pinky to baby toe, coming down, and then opposite pinky to baby toe. Exhale up, inhale back down. Exhale up, inhale back down. Thinking of our core, like that accordion I always talk about. Thinking bottom ribs towards belly button, pubic bone towards belly button. You can do what I'm doing, like kind of place your hand there to give you that feedback, and remember, nice and tight. We're not just being loosey-goosey with our core. For 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hug it in, take a little second. Okay. We are going to do our, what's the word? I don't know. I'll call them our frog presses. Can't think of the actual word right now. Okay. So arms can be by your side or cradling your head or beside your head. I'm going to put the weight of my head in my hands today. So nodding to my chest, curling up. Again, my bra band is on the mat and it's going to stay there. And we're going to prepare with an inhale. We're going to inhale as we reach our legs out, and then exhale, come back in. So in Pilates, this is our Pilates V when we reach out and coming in. Think of drawing those inner thighs together. When you reach, the lower your legs are, the harder it is. So go as low as you can while keeping that neutral spine, your ribs down. We've just got 4, 3, 2, last one. Hug it in. And then now we'll do our stretching. So let's place our right foot down, reach our left leg up towards the ceiling. I have a hair on my... And you can do a little gentle tugs in if you want. Let's roll out our ankles. And then the other direction. Just a little hamstring stretch here. If you do want to grab up by your calf, you can. Let's take that ankle, place it over our other knee. Just press away for a second. And then you can stay here if you want, or you can bring your legs up, reach through. You can kind of rock side to side. This is a good butt stretch. And then we'll switch sides. So left foot's going to come down, right leg's going to reach up to the ceiling. A couple ankle circles, one direction, and the other. I'm not a super big stretcher anymore. I used to be. But, I mean, research has kind of shown, like, it helps, but, and obviously you want to stretch, oh, and I've crossed my ankle over my other knee, and then you can reach through. Like, you want to be flexible and mobile and stuff, but there's other ways of doing that. And the best thing, if you don't want to be, like, sore the next day, just make sure you're getting, like, your minerals and vitamins and still moving the muscle. And just time is going to help it to recover. And then swing yourself up. That's my little spiel of the day. And we'll do a little side bending for those obliques we worked so hard. And then the other side. And then we'll just reach up and you can lean back. You can, actually I'm going to put the weight in my head and my hands. Reaching back. And as always, thank you for working out with me. Let me know if you liked this with the weights and the band and what you want to see next time. You can follow me on Instagram or TikTok or subscribe here, and I will see you next time.